We are live. We are live. I hope, I pray we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome into the house that sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kirk Gowdy Avenue. The corner house, right? Where we can take a quick peek at the college football, the world of college football. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Come on in. It's okay. I was steamed this afternoon. I'm still a little steamed up for tonight. And we'll get into the reasons why. But first of all, let me first advertise this show on Twitter. Thank you, Susan. Everything looks good. Appreciate it. Susan Murray comes into the house and says everything looks good. Thank you very much. First of all, let me quickly advertise this show on Twitter. And then we're going to get into the reasons why we are here tonight. First of all, it's the third week, the third edition of the college football rankings. They're going to be coming out, and it sounds like they're going to be coming out about 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central Time, after the Kentucky and Michigan State basketball game on ESPN, and before the next college basketball game that's going to be on ESPN. They're going to be doing a quick little show. We're going to be doing a real-time reaction to the rankings. I don't expect any big-time surprises like we've done the first 2 weeks. I think it's going to be sensible, but I'll give my reaction. You give yours. Put it in the comments section below the video. And then we're going to be talking about what's going to happen Thursday, 2 days from now, in San Francisco. The University of California Board of Regents is finally going to make a decision. I think, at least we all believe they're going to finally make a decision on the fate of UCLA, Big Ten fate. Will they let UCLA go and join the Big Ten in 2024? There's a few different options the University of California Board of Regents can do. They can do nothing at all. They can just let UCLA go to join the Big Ten. And I think that's what most people believe will happen on Thursday. Or they could block UCLA. They could just come out and block UCLA's ability to join the Big Ten. And we'll get into that scenario tonight. That's a wild scenario. Number 3, the University of California Board of Regents could tax UCLA. A yearly tax. We call it a toll tax here at Peek Around the Corner, where they would penalize UCLA. Take a few $1 million, hopefully it would be just a few $1 million, a few $1 million a year out of UCLA's athletic department and put it into the University of California, Berkeley's athletic department. Right? Or the other option is the University of California Board of Regents could just kick the can down the road for another month, another couple weeks. Kick the decision down the road. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can do that because everybody's waiting on this decision. This is the big domino that has to fall first. Everyone wants to know what's going to happen in UCLA, especially UCLA, those student athletes, the University of California Board of Regents, the state of California, the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is in media negotiations right now with potential new media partners. They want to know if UCLA is a member of the new Pac-12 or not, or going to stay as a member of the Pac-12 or not. And of course, you have the Big Ten sitting there. Kevin Warren, the Big Ten presidents. They got their new deal signed. It's a gigantic monster of a deal with incredible exposure. They're sitting waiting for this decision to happen. So I don't think kicking the can down the road is really an option. But you know what? Who knows? Who really knows at this point? The University of California Board of Regents even having a meeting on this just blows my mind. And it sounds like from West Coast writers, reporters, they don't even need the full board to even vote on this. This could be decided by just the top person, the top 2 people of the whole board. It's crazy. First, before we get into this, because I got lots of notes, I've got lots of tweets that we have to go over that happened this afternoon. I got a little steamed up, so did a lot of other people. But before we go through that, let me first advertise the show on Twitter, and then we're going to get right into it. I'm going to go through my monologue. I'm going to go through these tweets, and then we're going to be going through your comments. So just give me a moment here. Appreciate your patience. Just give me a moment. It's going to be a little bit of a crazy night. That I can guarantee you. Just hang on for another moment. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this. This morning, early afternoon, lots of reports on this University of California Board of Regents meeting this Thursday. John Wilner, the Mercury News, he comes out. But let me first say what Nick Auerbach says from The Athletic. Nicole Auerbach, she tweets out, report states that UCLA anticipates spending between $9.99 million and $10 million in new cost, travel, academic support, etc. And UCLA estimates that the potential increases in revenues associated with moving to the Big Ten will more than offset these planned enhancements. That was the shot that was heard this morning. Now, if you've been watching Peek Around the Corner, we said this. Well, we said this on June 30th when the announcement was made that UCLA and USC would join the Big Ten. We talked about this when we broke the news that USC called the Big Ten on March 31st. Not on March 31st. That's when we broke the news. And we try to tell all the media people out there, and only a couple people listen to us. USC 247, Minnesota 247, All Eyes on Big Ten podcast with Big Kurt and Jeffrey the Greek. Nobody else paid attention to our information, even though we had documentation. We pushed it out there. We pushed it out there to those West Coast writers that we talk about every single week on this show. They did not pay attention. The reason why, let's backtrack for a second. But Nicole Auerbach said what we all knew, that UCLA was going to, maybe their costs gets expanded, increased by between $9 and $10.5 million per year. That is new costs, travel, extra academic support for the students. This is men and women's, all their sports, right? So it's just between a $9 and a $10.5 million increase. And we know that the new Big Ten media deal was going to offer each Big Ten school, including UCLA and USC, about $70 million. That's the media revenue deal. It might start out below 70. It might increase over 70. But let's just say it's $70 million. And the Pac-12 media deal, it could end up $35 million. That's the media money. We're not talking conference payouts. Conference payouts with the new college football playoffs, each Big Ten school is going to get over $100 million. And each Pac-12 school could reach $60 million. But we're still talking about a difference of $35 to $40 million a year just based on the media money between UCLA staying in the Pac-12 and joining the Big Ten. We all know this, but I have to backtrack before I really get steamed up and talk about what's being reported this afternoon. What was reported this afternoon? Okay? Oklahoma and Texas, when they called the SEC to join them, they knew that this new world was going to happen. This new world in college football and college sports. I'm not going to go into that whole new world. You can go back to our very first episode on August 10th and peek around the corner. It's our manifesto. It explains why everything is going on. It's why we broke the news that USC was calling the Big Ten to try to get in the Big Ten March 31st. It's because everybody, all these schools that can make the jump are going to attempt to try to get above that revenue stratification line. They try to get into the Big Ten, the SEC. And the reason for that is because it's more important now than ever, because the new world is going to have these conferences and schools making direct deposits into the student athletes' bank accounts. They're going to get more and more compensated. That's the new world we're going into. And it's going to happen in the next 24 months. It is. The Big Ten's going to take a piece of this media money and send it to all the student athletes, not just the football players, but all the student athletes. So, of course, they're going to have the edge in recruiting. They already have the edge in exposure and media money. Texas and Oklahoma knew this 3 years ago. That's why at Flag Empire, if you followed us at Flag Empire for the last 6 years, we were saying there's going to come a time that Oklahoma and Texas were either going to call the SEC or the Big Ten. It was going to happen. Same reason why USC and UCLA called the Big Ten. Same reason why Oregon and Washington are going to keep trying, keep attempting, along with Stanford, to go to the Big Ten. They're going to keep swinging. It's because this new world of these student athletes being compensated, maybe not as employees of the university, but still directly compensated by the conference and/or school, taking that extra huge media money and depositing to the student athletes. So, we're talking about John Wilner. Okay, Mercury News tweeted out today, if UCLA stays in the Pac-12, in other words, if the University of California Board of Regents blocks UCLA's movement to the Big Ten, if they come out Thursday and actually block UCLA's movement to the Big Ten, well, we'll get to that in a moment. If UCLA, this is John Wilner, if UCLA stays, Pac-12 would clear about $40 million per school, because the network's competition to access the LA market. In other words, Pac-12 schools would make $40 million per school media money. Big 12 just struck a deal that would be about $31.6 million a school. As we know, Big 10 is going to be about $70 million per school. Pac-12 projections right now are between 30 and 35 million. But if they keep UCLA, if the Board of Regents of California blocks UCLA, then Pac-12 schools could make $40 million a year. And then John Wilner says, if Big Ten deal is $60.25 million a school, and Bruins have a $10 million travel cost plus subsidy, in other words, if UCLA gets penalized, right, they have to spend $10 million more on travel and academic stuff, and then they get penalized, that toll tax. Well, the math gets interesting. That's what John Wilner says. I've got a couple comments on that, and I made a couple comments to John Wilner and others. Of course, I didn't get any response. One is the realignment decision. Now, I wish they were watching Peek Around the Corner. They are not. John Wilner, John Casano, all those Pac-12 writers, even a UCLA beat writer, not UCLA, a Utah beat writer. We're going to go with what he said today. Josh Furlong. We're going to point that out. I wish they would watch this show. These realignment decisions that Texas and Oklahoma made, that UCLA and USC made, is not just for these next 6 years. It's not for these next 6 years. It's way beyond 6 years. It's for the next 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I will get to your comments. I thank you so much for all coming into the Peek Around the Corner house. Appreciate it so much. I will get to your comments. I promise you. I got to get this off my chest. Okay. The realignment decisions are not just for the next 6 years. They're for way out there. And it's not just about money. Although money is very important because money creates opportunities for the student athletes in these schools. And remember, these schools want to build up their athletic departments as big as they can, as most successful as they can, because they're the front porch of these universities. And these universities want to bring in the best students possible. They want to grow their alumni base. They want their alumni base to be successful. You know all this, right? But it's not just about the money. It's about the grand exposure that these student athletes are going to get, that these student athletes are going to receive from this deal. The Big Ten is going to be on the NBC at night, CBS, Fox, the Big Ten network that blows those student athletes, that blows away the exposure that the UCLA and USC students would get if they stayed in the Pac-12. And Oregon knows this, and Washington knows this, and other schools know this. That's why they're doing all they can, if they can, to get to the Big Ten. And for others, it will be trying to get to the SEC years down the line when the ACC grant of rights runs out of steam. And you remember George Kliakoff. You remember his messaging. We talked about this. We've had it on live shows, on episodes. George Kliakoff, the Pac-12 president, he came out not just one time, not just 2 times, but at least 3 times. He tripled down on the messaging that UCLA would make less money in the Big Ten than if they stayed in the Pac-12. Less money, not just the same, but less money. And we said, why did he say that? Why did he say that? Because it was so simply, empirically false. And, of course, Nicole Auerbach and others are reporting that it is false. Absolutely false. Now, we said it at that time when George Kliakoff made those comments. Why blow your credibility on that silly argument that UCLA would actually make less money? And then you have Bill Walton coming out, the Hall of Famer, UCLA Bruin, proud to be a Bruin, proud of the Pac-12. We have no qualms with that. Bill Walton wants UCLA to stay in the Pac-12, and there are some good reasons, the travel issues, things like that. But Bill Walton, when he wrote his so-called, what I would call manifesto on the reasons why UCLA should stay in the Pac-12, he also brought up the point that UCLA won't actually make more money joining the Big Ten. And of course, that's false. It was just proven again today. It was false. And then George Kliakoff also said, and Bill Walton also stated, that they could find nobody. That they could find nobody, no UCLA Bruin or USC Trojan, but they were concentrating on UCLA Bruins. They could find nobody from UCLA that actually wanted the university to move into the Big Ten Conference. Okay. All right. Let's look at that. Today, reported Annie Staples and others on Twitter this afternoon, the University of California Board of Regents, the body that is going to make that decision on Thursday, whether to block UCLA or give them a tax, a penalty, or do nothing at all. The University of California Board of Regents did a survey of over 600 UCLA Bruins student athletes, men and women. They had 4 options. Do you think it's a good idea to join the Big Ten? Do you have no opinion? Do you need more information? Or do you think it's a bad idea for UCLA to join the Big Ten? Out of the 600 students, those who thought it was a good idea, men, 42%, women, 33%, student athletes. Bad idea, men, 6%, women, 8%. The rest of the student athletes had no opinion or needed more information. So for more than a 4-to-1 ratio, the men student athletes at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA Bruins thought it was a good idea. At more than a 3-to-1 ratio, the women student athletes at the University of California, Los Angeles, the UCLA Bruins student athletes, the women thought it was a good idea. So when you have George Kliakoff, who can't find anybody to say, to agree, to think it's a good idea, when you have Bill Walton repeating the same lines, that type of messaging hurt you. For the people who wanted UCLA to stay in the Pac-12, that type of messaging hurt the cause. It did. And we called it out at the moment they said it. We did episodes on it. We're calling it out tonight because now we have all sorts of empirical data that says that we were correct on that. We all knew this. We all knew this. One more thing, and then we'll get to your comments. Again, Josh Furlong, KSL.com sports director, beat writer for Utah football. He says in a tweet today, he says, UCLA is going to have to share flights with USC to contests and likely give up some of its money to California. Sounds like a dream. And then he has an emoji of a laughing emoji. And I wrote a tweet back saying, if UCLA had that deal, if they were offered that deal by the Big Ten, they would take it in a heartbeat. This is Utah's beat writer. I don't think they don't think they understand what is about to happen in the next 24 months. That's why none of them could see USC leaving the Pac-12 to go to the Big Ten in the first place. They still don't know what's coming down the tracks. I witness it every single day on Twitter, on these message boards, on these articles of the Pac-12 writers. They don't understand. Okay, I'm going to take one more step further in this, and then I'm going to get to your comments. But please, before we do, smash that like button if you like our content. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so, and please share the video with your family and friends. If you want to donate to the show, because we are completely independent, we are liked by nobody. We say it like it is on all fronts. We're not going to be invited to any cocktail parties or any conference media stuff that's going on. We're completely independent. So if you want to donate to our channel, please hit the $, the super chat, and we'll get into your comment right away. We'll take a deep dive, even if you rip it on your humble host, Greg Pflugar. One more thing. I've talked about this Proctor, the offensive lineman, committed to the Iowa Hawkeyes, 2023 class. The number 1 rated offensive lineman in the country from the state of Iowa. He's been committed to the Iowa Hawkeyes for a very long time. But there's news out there that he's taken his last visit to Oregon. Last official visit. And people are scared that he might flip to Oregon. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I've gotten a lot of tweets, direct messages, right? People are saying, Greg, so why is it so important for Oregon to try to get into the Big Ten? If they can possibly flip Iowa's number 1 offensive lineman in the country, in the state of Iowa, high school player, and flip them to Oregon. Why is that possible? Well, first of all, it's always going to be possible, but it's going to be less possible years down the road. Remember, these student athletes are not getting a cut of the media pie quite yet. But all indications, all steam, all intel we receive, all reports you see in the public, everything Kevin Warren has said in the public, it's going to happen, my friends. It's going to happen. And those who have the bigger war chest are going to be able to give out more money. In episode 52, it was about Oregon Ducks, and our intel from the money perch at Oregon. They wanted desperately for Oregon to join the Big Ten. They were willing to bring on a new sponsored sports to have a bigger bandwidth of sports at Oregon. Even talking about creating a Division I hockey program coming from the HCHA top level hockey school that they have now in Oregon starting this year, to move that into Division I, to buy for the facilities. And if they weren't going to be able to get to the Big Ten now, they were going to keep on swinging. Why is that? Because the boosters, the money perch at Oregon and Washington, they would rather take their money and spend it on NIL and facilities. But they know that the other schools are now going to be getting a bigger war chest. USC and UCLA, they want in on that war chest. So they don't have to double dip, that they could just focus on one thing or the other. So yes, the Proctor example, the number one high school tackle, maybe flipping from Iowa to Oregon, that doesn't change the real world that's coming in 24 months. That doesn't change it. Lots of confusion out there. Okay, let me get to your comments. Again, we await the new rankings of the college football playoff rankings. We're going to be covering it in real time. I want to get your reactions. I want to get your reactions to the new rankings. Here we go. Opie, nice to see you in the house. What's up, Peep? Also smash the like button. You are absolutely correct. Daniel is smashing the like button. Nice to see you, Mr. Hoosier. Nice to see you in the house. Daniel, yes, increased expenses are expected for all Big Ten schools due to the change in landscape that had NIL and etc. If you read that information this afternoon or this morning that came out, UCLA, looks like I lost my TV here, that UCLA basically described what they're going to be spending more on once they join the Big Ten. Part of that is like increased academic, like the student athletes are going to be on the planes, a lot more miles, a lot more hours on the plane. So it's not just about the travel miles, the travel costs, but the extra academic costs. Yeah, but everybody's going to have increased expenses. But man, you're talking about a significant difference in revenue coming in if UCLA stayed as a Pac-12 school or if they joined the Big Ten school. Tony, Tough Tony's in the house. Aren't all the UC employees on strike? If so, maybe they should concentrate on that. Maybe they should concentrate on that. Tony, love your street address. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Opie, the PAC writers have not blocked you yet. The PAC writers have not blocked you yet. I don't think they have. I know they know who I am. But they haven't blocked me yet. I'm as professional as I possibly can be in dealing with all that. But no, they haven't blocked me yet. Movie Time Blues, nice to see you in the house. Looks like Wilner is saying UCLA is good as gone. Yeah, I mean, unless they're gone, right? They're gone unless the University of California Board of Regents blocks them. Hold on one second. I'm going to have to change something on my TV. Now, what are the chances of the University of California Board of Regents blocking UCLA's move to the Big Ten? Well, it should be 0. But man, oh man, I mean, we're not going to really know until the decision's done, because I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but it's crazy. It's crazy that they're even having this meeting on November 17th as an action item. It's listed as an action item. I think it's just a crazy situation. And you don't know. And then sorry about that. I have to switch my, okay. And then they're talking about how there doesn't even need to be like a full votes of the full board for whatever decision they make. That's been reported more than once. So that's kind of a scary deal, right? A slim minority of the voters of the Board of Regents could say, well, we're going to block UCLA. We'll take the incoming, Big Ten could take us to court, whatever, but we're going to do this. We're going to block UCLA. So that's the scary part about it. Tony, I saw Warren gave an interview on NBC Sunday Night Football in studio. Lots of back slapping, no real news. I did not see that. Thank you for letting me know what that was about. Sure. NBC, they got to love it. They got to love it, man. NBC, now they got prime time Big Ten. If it's not going to be Big Ten, then it's going to be Notre Dame. But yeah, NBC made a huge move in the college football landscape, and all this cross promotion between NBC, CBS, and Fox, all this cross promotion. Again, exposure is a huge deal that doesn't get talked about. It didn't get talked about. You know, if you go back and read those tweets from those Pac-12 writers, they always talk about the money, but they never talk about the difference in exposure. Let's say the Pac-12 makes a deal with Amazon and ESPN. Are they going to be cross-promoting each other? No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not going to do that. But Big Ten made it a big deal that CBS would talk about NBC's product, Big Ten product. NBC would be talking about Fox product. They're all going to be cross-promoting each other. Luis Carlos Diaz, nice to see you in the house. Appreciate you coming on in. That would be crazy if UCLA couldn't go to the Big Ten. They would probably add Stanford, and the Pac could add SDSU, San Diego State, +1. It would be crazy. It would be absolutely nuts if they blocked UCLA. I don't expect it. Nobody expects it. But they seem to be convinced, University of California Board of Regents, that they have the ability to block it. I'm okay now with the TV. I do have the basketball game, so we're okay. It would be wild, and the Big Ten would not just do nothing. Kevin Warren wouldn't just say, okay, we lost UCLA. They'd probably take it to court. UCLA would probably take it to court, or the Big Ten would move on another school in the Pac-12. It wouldn't be good news for the Pac-12. It might be that blimp of good news. I don't think the blocking is going to happen, obviously. But what about the taxing, the toll tax, the penalize? How much is the University of California Board of Regents going to penalize UCLA? $10 million a year, $5 million a year? I think that's also crazy. We'll see what happens. But stick with us at Peek Around the Corner, because we're going to be doing a live show that Thursday. When that decision comes down, we will be live here at Peek Around the Corner. Tony, a lot of salty folks live in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Tony. Let me know what you mean by that. I know they're having a bad year. Movie Time Blues. Did you read Iowa State's athletic director saying that the Big 12 will have the afternoon window on Fox following the Big 10 in their next contract? I did not see that. Thanks for that information. I did not see that. Fox wanted that Big 12 content, right? They wanted that Big 12 content. Not so much interested in the Pac-12 content. They still might get a slice of that. I doubt it. But they were interested in the Big 12 content. Now, ESPN gets the top Big 12 games. I can't, the top 4 games, I think top 8 of the top 12 football games during the year. Maybe the top, I don't know. But ESPN mostly gets the top Big 12 games. So that afternoon game on Fox would probably be the number 2 game. Afternoon game. Thanks for that information. I appreciate it. Tony, I think it was the LA Times today. If UCLA is blocked, expect lawsuits from UCLA, Big Ten, Fox, NBC, CBS, etc. I think you're right. It will be a tax. Yeah, and again, what does that tax do? What does that honestly do? Why are you taxing UCLA? Are you just like, are you so, I mean, what's the motivation? Let's say the University of California Board of Regents tax UCLA $5 million a year. That goes to the University of California, Berkeley. Okay. What does that do for University of California, Berkeley? You're only harming UCLA's ability to compete in the Big Ten. $5 million doesn't seem like a lot. Well, $5 million can be a combination of a great defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, a great staff for your basketball team, for your women's basketball, the whole staff salary, whatever. $5 million doesn't seem like a lot when you see how much UCLA is going to be making. But still, penalizing UCLA, I just think that's terrible. I think that's a terrible thing to do. We shall see what happens. We should see what happens. Hold on 1 second here. Oklahoma message boards are harsh. They want heads to roll. I think what you're talking about is Brent Venables. Tony, come on. Message boards are very harsh. Very harsh. Brent Venables, he was always, at the beginning of the year, I didn't think Oklahoma was going to be even in the Big 12 championship game. I didn't expect much for their first year. They are really, really low on talent when it comes to certain units of that roster, especially that secondary. But they have other problems as well. Got to give Brent Venables more of an opportunity than just 1 year. I know they're really salty at Texas A&M. Those message boards, wow. Holy smokes. Texas A&M Aggies message boards. Man, Jimbo Fisher how much money is he owed? His whole contract's guaranteed. I think it's $95 million, $100 million. If someone knows, let me know in the comments section. And they got big oil money, Texas A&M. So writing out a $100 million check, get about 5 of those donors together, they could do it. But yeah, they are salty. There's a lot of upset people at the end of these college football seasons. It's crazy. And just wait, man. That transfer portal, it's going to be wild. And we're going to be covering that at Peek Around the Corner. We're going to be doing daily episodes on that. And I tell you, Some fan bases are going to get crushed with it. Most fan bases will have some bad moments. I know as a Gopher fan, we lost Bucky Irving, and he's lighting it up at Oregon. There's rumors about Braylon Allen going to go jumping in the transfer portal if the Wisconsin Badgers do not rehire Jim Leonard, their interim head coach. There's rumors flying around all over the place. There are good players already going into the transfer portal, announcing that they will go into the transfer portal. I know I have my eyes set on a certain Mississippi State wide receiver who's in his 4th season. And he's not getting many targets, not getting the ball thrown to him. And his younger brother is the great cornerback for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I'm not going to say any names, but that Mississippi State wide receiver, I'm checking him out to see if he goes into the transfer portal, because we could use him. We could use him next year so desperately. Tony, who should the Gophers start at quarterback? Wow, that's a great question. I'm going to surprise people here. If Tanner Morgan is healthy, I think he should start. One is, it's senior day. I want him to walk out on the field, give PJ Fleck a hug, give Heather Fleck a hug, and be out there with his mom, dedicating the game to his father. So I think he should start if he is healthy. If he is healthy. Now, does he give us the best chance to beat the Iowa Hawkeyes? I don't know. I mean, Athan Clackamanis is a wild stallion. He has so much higher skill level than Morgan. He can run. He can throw the ball hard. And he's got a lot of skill, but he doesn't process the field anywhere near as good as Morgan. I think he's a turnover waiting to happen. When it comes to the Iowa Hawkeyes defense, they create so many turnovers. I tell you what, Tony, either way, I am going to be scared. And we're going to be doing a watch party, live watch party, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central, right here at Peek Around the Corner, Hawkeyes, Gophers for the Florida Rosedale. We got 15.8 seconds left to go in this basketball game. Kentucky, Michigan State. Kentucky's up by 1. When this game concludes, they're going to be doing the rankings of the playoff rankings, and we are going to do reaction in real time. So stick with us here. Stick with us. I expect, this is what I expect the rankings to show. Georgia number 1, the Buckeyes. Ohio State number 2, Michigan Wolverines number 3, TCU Horned Frogs number 4, Tennessee Volunteers number 5. I've got LSU number 6, USC number 7, Alabama 8, Clemson 9, Utah Utes 10. And then for the next 3 spots, any Penn State, Oregon, UNC filling up the 11th, 12th, 13th spot. That's what I have. That's what I have. I don't expect any surprises. Of course, every time I say that, we get a big surprise. I think the top 4 will be Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. But we shall see. We shall see. We're going to be getting them. Hopefully, we'll be getting that here in the next 5-10 minutes. Next question. Tony, will Manny Diaz be a head coach next year? No, I don't think he will. Is there any steam out there? I don't think he did a very good job at Miami, Florida at all. He's a defensive coordinator. That's what I think of him. I don't think he will be. Movie time blues. Attacks would color the perception of Berkeley too negatively on the Big Ten presence. That's a good point. I think political leverage to shoehorn UCB is possible. I like that first half of your comment, Movie Time Blues. The second half of that comment, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think the Big Ten is going to get blackmailed or politically pushed to add University of California, Berkeley into the conference because of their actions of what they're doing at UCLA. I'm not buying that, but we shall see. UC BOR 3, nice for you to come into the house. Appreciate it. Your comment, Cal lost their field name sponsored. FTX, ooh. Yes, FTX at $17.5 million. They'll be looking for a new sponsor in cash. Should they name their field the UCLA Bruins? Oh, I didn't have this ready. I did not have this ready. My bad. That's a good one. Oh, come on, Tony. Rumor of the day, Scott Frost to California as offensive coordinator. Come on. You got to be kidding me. That's another one. California. Are you being serious, Tony? Let me know if that's just your humor or if that's real steam. I find that unbelievable. I would not hire Scott Frost. So this basketball game's tied up 62-62. 3.7 seconds to go in the game. We're waiting for this game to be completed so then ESPN can unveil the new college football rankings and we're going to react to it in real time. But this game might go into overtime. So worst case scenario for us. I would not hire Scott Frost as offensive coordinator for your son Tony's PUE football team. That's no way. If California does that, now I know Justin Wilcox, head football coach, University of California, they've had a good defense over the last 5, 6, 7 years, based primarily, and their offense has been brutal. So, and they just fired the offensive coordinator. They're looking for a new one. But let me know, Tony, if you're just pulling my leg or if that is actual real steam. Boy, I hope that does not happen. We got big games. And of course, the basketball game is going into overtime. So we're going to be here a lot longer, ladies and gentlemen. Game's going into overtime. Again, for those who are just joining us, after this basketball game concludes, Kentucky, Michigan State, we're going to be reacting to the real-time unveiling of the new playoff rankings. Until then, please smash the like button if you like our content. Subscribe to our channel and share the video with your family and friends. If you want to donate to this channel to help us keep the lights on, hit that super chat, put up a statement, put up a comment, make a joke, rip on your humble host, do all those things, and we'll get to your comment right away. Appreciate you so very much. We got USC, UCLA, big game. Big game, Utah, Oregon, Iowa, Minnesota. For the pig, Gophers haven't beaten Iowa since 2014. The Florida Rosedale has to come home. If the Gophers can't beat Iowa now, when are they ever going to beat them again? Iowa's got no offense. Don't turn over the ball. No pick six. No scooping scores. No special teams touchdowns. Come on, Gophers. Come on. You got Northwestern, Purdue, hoping for a Purdue loss. TCU at Baylor. And of course, I got to rip on all the conferences, right? I rip on the Big Ten only having those two teams on an island. I rip on the ACC's GOR. I'm ripping on the Pac-12. I got to rip on the SEC right now. Their scheduling, late season scheduling is embarrassing. You know it. I know it. Austin P at Alabama in week 12. Come on. Come on. Texas A&M versus UMass. Of course, UMass might be the only team Texas A&M can beat right now, but you can't have those two teams at the end of your schedule. That just can't happen. Have that early in you only have 8 conference games. Of course, you're the best conference in the country. So I know there's a lot of competition, a lot of tough games for each of those SEC teams. But get done with your non-conference games early in the year. Don't be having an Austin P Alabama game 12th week of the season. That's just incredible. Will Dude, nice to see you, sir. Mr. Ute, Utah Ute is in the house. Appreciate you coming in here, sir. Hey, Greg, any way that you would consider making a singing exception? If Utah beats Oregon on Saturday, will you sing Utah Man, the Utah fight song? Oregon will probably be ranked outside the top 10. Well, this is what we got, Will Dude. This is what we got. There are 2 rules in place. For those who are just following us for the very first time, I do sing upon request, but there's 2 options for that. One is you put a request in, and if your team beats a top 10 ranked team in an upset, and you put the request in, I will sing whatever song you want me to sing. So this doesn't qualify, Will Dude. But the other one is, I will sing any song that you want me to sing, Will Dude, on the next live show if Utah beats Oregon. But somebody's going to have to put a donation in, the super chat donation. It can be for any amount. It can either be you or someone else in the chat room. If someone puts a donation in before the end of the live show, and if Utah beats Oregon, I will sing Utah Man, the Ute fight song. I'm going to have to learn it, and I'll sing it on the next live show. Just for you, Will Dude. But I have to see a donation. I have to see a donation. Those are the 2 rules, exceptions in place. Okay, Movie Time Blues. What would SMU's chances of getting a Power 5 spot be? I think it's the best they've had ever since they got the death penalty in the 1980s. This is it. If it doesn't happen now, it's not going to happen. For SMU, for San Diego State, I think they got a shot. What are the chances of getting that Pac-12 spot along with San Diego State? I'd give it a good 40%. 40%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Medea Flugar, my wife of 20 years, the moderator of the channel, the little general. Thanks for your support to the channel. Your contributions mean a lot. We do appreciate it. Please smash that like button. That's free. Please smash it. It helps us with the algorithms so very much. Tony comes in with Can Northwestern pull an upset to help Goldie, Purdue, Illinois. Can Northwestern pull an upset? Can they beat Purdue? First of all, the question has to be answered. Is Sullivan, Northwestern's quarterback, is he okay to play? Remember, he got injured in that Gopher game right away. It didn't look like a serious injury, but I haven't heard any reports. So if anyone knows if Sullivan, the quarterback of Northwestern, if he can play against Purdue, let me know in the comments section. Michigan State just tied it up with Kentucky. We still got 2 minutes to go in the first overtime. This could be going on for a long time. Please stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we wait for the unveiling of the new conference, of the new college football playoff rankings. First, we got to know if Sullivan can play against Purdue. Second thing we got to know, Purdue. Look, they're going to be missing their two linebackers. That number 46 got injured late in that Illinois game. I can't remember the guy's name. He is one heck of a linebacker. He made a great interception, but he got hurt. Lower leg injury. They're missing another starting linebacker. We know that Northwestern can run downhill a little bit. Evan Hall, the young man from Maple Grove, Minnesota, who's the starting running back for Northwestern, number 26. He couldn't quite get going against the Gophers, but maybe he can get going in that Purdue game. Maybe they'll get some bad weather there in West Lafayette. I don't know what the weather forecast is. But that Purdue game, Tony, versus Indiana, the following week, that rivalry game, the old bucket game being played at Indiana, that game Purdue could lose. That game, they could lose. So Gophers, do what you need to get done. Beat Iowa this week, this Saturday, and let's see what happens. Moni Vision, this is going 2 overtimes. Do not say that, Moni Vision. Do not say that. No. Get the game over with. Get the game over with. Come on, we got basketball on my TV. That's not good. We need this game over. When this game concludes, we will have the unveiling of the new the college football playoff rankings. Again, I think it's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. I guess there might be some drama built around what comes after number 5, Tennessee, among LSU, USC. I've got LSU 6, USC 7. I can think, some Trojan fans probably want USC number 6 and LSU 7. So there might be some drama there. Other than that, I think it's pretty laid out. Jesse Wilson, thanks for coming into the house. Jesse Wilson, finally on for live, checking in from Alabama. Alabama Crimson Tide. Are you an Alabama fan, Jesse? I got to tell you something. I'm from Minnesota my whole life. My mother, Maxine Pflugar, who's 89 years old, has been living in Minnesota her whole life. Her favorite team is Alabama. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Tony, will TCU be number 4? I think TCU will be number 4. I do believe TCU will be number 4. I don't think they sneak into number 3. I think Michigan's got that spot, but we shall see. Jesse, nope. Washington fan. LOL. Washington Huskies. Big win against Oregon. That was a classic game. That got a huge TV rating. Michael Penix, the transfer from Indiana, man, he's had a good season. A little bit up and down. He's always been a little bit up and down. He's streaky. He is streaky. I think he's out of eligibility, right? I think he's going to try for the NFL next year. I could be wrong on that. Well, thanks for joining us, Washington Husky. Appreciate it. Tony, if Penn State wins out, are they a lock for the New Year's Six game? I think they are. Brett McMurphy, and I just had the show this morning. My memory is gone. I can't remember where Brett McMurphy's Action Network had them projected, but I think it was a New Year's Six game. But for the life of me, I can't remember who the Action Network has Penn State playing against. A lot of this depends. Are we going to get 2 Big Ten schools into the college football playoffs? Are we going to get a Michigan, Ohio State? If so, geez, that bumps everything up. I mean, if that happens, who goes to the Rose Bowl, right? Who goes to the Rose Bowl? Probably Penn State, right? I think right now Brett McMurphy has Michigan in the Rose Bowl against Oregon. I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his Rose Bowl game. But if Michigan goes to the conference, to the playoff, 14 playoffs with the Buckeyes, then Penn State would get pushed to the Rose Bowl. It's nice to see the UConn Huskies in the bowl projections. They're bowl eligible. Jim Mora Jr. has done an unbelievable job. UConn Huskies. I'm surprised his name hasn't popped up in all these rumors for who's going to be the new head football coach of Nebraska. Because everyone else's name is popping up. We've had this, now we have this Matt Rulestein, right? He's going to be the new Nebraska head football coach. Last week it was Deion Sanders. So it keeps changing every single week. Movie Time Blues. Where will Gonzaga ultimately end up? Great question. If I had to put my money on it, or I should say your money on it, Movie Time Blues, I would say Big 12. Because I think Big 12 is being more aggressive. I also think there's schools in the Pac-12 that do not want to bring in affiliated members to bring into the basketball conference. They're too traditional, in other words. And I think the Big 12 is more aggressive, more non-traditional. So if I had to guess, and it is a guess, I have no intel on it, I would say the Big 12 for Gonzaga. And Gonzaga does want to move into a Power 6 conference. Be it Pac-12, Big 12, Big 10, ACC, SEC, and the Big East for basketball. They do want to go there. They've been working on this for quite a while to try to get... And you know what the reason is for it? Besides the money, it's for the exposure, the increased exposure for the student athletes and for the university and all the positives that come with it for that increased exposure. If I had to put my money on it, I would say Big 12, but we shall see. We shall see. Now, what do we got here? Kentucky's up by 2 points over Michigan State, 71-69. 7 seconds left to go. We do have a request from Wildu. He wants me to sing on the next live show, the Utah Man, the Utah Fight song. However, Oregon won't be a top 10 team when this happens. So the only way I will sing this song on the live show next week in front of you all, a song that I've never even heard before, I need a donation. Someone has to donate $1.99, whatever, to the show for Will Duke to get his request official that I will sing the Utah Man on the next live show if they beat Oregon. That's going to be a really good game. That game is at Oregon. USC plays at UCLA. Lots of big games. UMass at Texas A&M. Austin Peay at Alabama. Oh my goodness. What's going on? We're going into double overtime. A dunk with a second left to go. Michigan State dunks it, tied up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be here all night long. All night long. Remember, at the conclusion of this basketball game, ESPN will unveil the third edition of the college football playoff rankings. And why do they do this once every year? They do this one time every year where it gets scheduled. The unveiling of the college football playoff rankings gets scheduled in between these basketball games. We're going into second overtime. Kentucky, Michigan State. So buckle in. Everybody buckle in. Grab a beverage, bag of chips. We're going to be here for a while. Jesse Wilson says they're playing with our emotions. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I do not like this. Oh. I tell you, worst case scenario happens again. Tony, any steam on the Big 12 taking some Pac-12 teams before the Pac-12 deal is announced? Did the Big sign their deal officially? I think you're talking about the Big 12. I don't know. I don't get into this like, did they sign it officially or not? The Big 12 deal is going to be signed. All the GORs are going to be signed. I know West Virginia's Board of Regents just had a meeting this week and officially declared that West Virginia will sign the grant of rights, the Big 12 grant of rights. That all happens naturally. I don't think there's any conference realignment steam anywhere, until a couple things happen. One, the UCLA thing has to get figured out, and that better get figured out Thursday. That better not be like this basketball game right now where it goes on for another week. So that has to get decided. And the elephant in the room that really has to be decided before anybody else makes any more decisions on San Diego State, on SMU, even on Gonzaga, is how is the new college football playoffs, hopefully starting in 2024, how is that revenue distributed among the Power 5 and the G5? That has to be decided on. And why other reporters are not covering this huge, massive story, I do not know why, but we are at Peek Around the Corner. We have been on it for a couple weeks, so we're going to stay on it because it's the elephant in the room that's going to decide everything else that happens, not only in the next year, but in the next 6 years, 7 years down the road when it comes to realignment. Where's the value? Okay, that's the 3. Kentucky's up by 3. Where's the value? Is the money going to be distributed more based on performance or how many schools you have in your conference? We don't know. But how that gets worked out, once we know how that gets worked out, then we can kind of figure out where the other domino chips are going to fall. The scary thing is, what if it doesn't get worked out? What if they can't come to a consensus deal among the 10 FBS conferences in Notre Dame? What if there's nothing? What if that's it? They can't strike a deal. That's scary. But we're going to hang on to that story. We're going to cover it. No one else seems to be talking about it. A few people. Nicole Auerbach's covering it. But a lot of people don't even know that's even an issue out there. But it's a massive, massive issue. Mo and Vision. Can we get 3 overtimes? No! You're killing me. You're killing me, Mo and Vision. You are absolutely killing me. Please, no. Opie, if the Zags go to the Big 12, I wonder if that would open up Oregon State or Washington State as partners for them. I believe you asked me that question before, or someone else did. I don't see Oregon State, Washington State as partners for Gonzaga. I don't see that happening. Could there be another affiliate school that would join so they'd have even numbers in basketball? That's a possibility. Or maybe, I don't know, but I don't think Oregon State, Washington State has a future in the Big 12. Big 12 is going to have too many other different options. Jesse Wilson, when things are too quiet, the pot is steering somewhere. The pot is steering, but no one's going to pull the trigger. That is my strongly held opinion until that elephant in the room gets decided on. How are they going to distribute this massive new incoming revenue that's coming in with an expanded college football playoffs? And not only is the college football playoffs expanding from 3 playoff games to 11, from 4 teams to 12 teams, It's also going to be on the open market, or kind of on the open market, that content, those 11 playoff games. So it's going to bring in a lot of new revenue. And how that gets decided on, how that gets distributed, that's gonna have a huge, massive impact on these upcoming decisions, whether Pac-12 expands to 11th to 12th school, and all the other decisions after that. Mo envision wait until 2026. No reason for Big Ten and SEC to take less. Mo envision brings up a very good point. There's a lot of steam to that. What if Big 12, Big Ten, and SEC just walk away from this table? What if they can't get a consensus? What if the Big Ten and SEC wants most of that money being distributed, most of that new playoff money being distributed based upon performance and not the number of teams in each conference? What if they want that to happen? And the other schools, the other conferences say, no, we're going to do it like we've always done it. I think it's the biggest story out there. It is. Once this UCLA thing gets done with, and hopefully it's the University of California Board of Regents saying we're doing nothing to UCLA. Once that decision gets done, then the next massive story in college sports, college football, is how they decide that distribution. New playoff revenue distribution. Opie, if SEC gets 3 teams in the college football playoffs, would we get an extended playoff next year? The answer to that is no. At 2024 is the earliest that they can do it, and the clock is running out on 2024. Again, going back to, it's been unresolved. They haven't resolved this issue of distribution, money, the new money that's coming in. They've got to solve that, or we're not getting the new conference football playoffs. And it has to be decided. Remember this. Any changes to the college football playoffs to happen before 2026, it has to be done with consensus. Everybody has to agree. All 10 FBS conferences, all 5 G5 conferences, all 5 Power 5 conferences, and Notre Dame. All of them have to agree. Starting in 2026 and beyond, doesn't have to be by consensus. It's a new contract. And then anything can happen. It's the wild, wild west out there. So, Eisman, Mr. Hawkeye, is coming to the house. Nice to see you, sir. Hi, Greg. Will my Hawkeyes be ranked after they embarrass the Gophers on Saturday? Will you honor your promise to sing the Iowa fight song, or will you fake a throat injury? Wow. Unbelievable. They are coming out of the woodwork tonight. I will not fake a throat injury. However, Eisman, 57. However, the rules state that I will sing a song that's requested, but it has to happen one or two ways. One, your team beats a top 10 team in an upset, and if you have to request it before it happens. Gophers are not a top 10 team in the country, unfortunately. And number two is you have to make a donation to the show for me to sing your song if your team wins whatever game you're requesting. So I do not see a donation from you, and the Gophers are not top 10. So if you put a donation in, I will sing. Now I know you've offered to send some sort of pig to my house if the Iowa Hawkeyes do get defeated by the Gophers. I can't really take that gift, and we're not going to be taking gifts on the show, but the donation super chat, I will take that. So please, if you donate to the channel tonight, and if the Iowa Hawkeyes somehow by a miracle, beat the Gophers. I will sing the Iowa fight song. Oh boy, here we go. Eisman didn't want to listen to me blather anymore. Warm up your throat. Eisman 57 has come in with a $10 donation to the show. Thank you, Eisman, first of all, for your generosity, for your very good humor. Mr. Iowa Hawkeye on this show, Peek Around the Corner, is Eisman 57. Okay, it's official. Iowa Hawkeyes beat my Gophers for what? The 8th time in a row? If the Iowa Hawkeyes win yet again, I will sing the Iowa fight song at the next live show. It's going to kill me. It's going to absolutely break my heart. And it will break my throat. But only after I sing the live edition of the Iowa fight song. Tough Tony. Thank you, Eisman, for your generosity. I do appreciate you. Thanks for your great humor as well on this channel. Thank you for that donation. We appreciate it. You're helping us keep the lights on here at Peek Around the Corner. We're still looking for a small donation for another request. For another request from Will Doot. Will Doot wants, if Oregon beats Utah, he wants me to sing Utah Man. And I will do that for a small donation from anybody. From anybody. Because Oregon's not a top 10 team. I don't think they will be tonight. So a small donation. So if anybody can kick in a small donation, I will sing that song. We have sung a couple live songs on this show, on the live shows. There has been no reports of any medical emergencies from anybody listening to my singing. So hopefully, you just got to put some earplugs in the ears. You'll get through it. You will get through it. Tony says the Gophers are top 10 in our hearts. Yeah, they're not top 10. But they are top 10 in our hearts. They did finish now. For those who are not Gopher fans, and you all should be Gopher fans. But for those who are not Gopher fans, in 2019, the Gophers did finish number 10 in the country at the last rankings after the bowl games. Number 10. A lot of people don't know that. My Golden Gophers. Medea Flugar says, thank you, Eisman 57, for your contribution to our channel. She is the moderator of our channel. She is the little general. So if anybody acts up, she will come down on you with a hard iron fist. Jesse Wilson, don't forget to smash the like button, please. Thank you so much, Jesse. The free way of contributing to this channel that doesn't cost you anything is to smash that like button. We have been so fortunate. This game better not go into 3 overtimes. Do not hit that shot. Kentucky brick it. Do not. There we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. This game's ending. This game is ending. Okay. Jonathan Weaver, another Hawkeye. Let's go Hawks. Let's go Hawks. They're killing me. They're killing me. The Hawkeyes are coming into the house on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kirk Gowdy Avenue. Let's go Hawks. Wow, that's going to be a big game. The wind chill is going to be in single digits. Single digits. About 2 degrees, 3 degrees wind chill. It's going to be tough. Kickoff time is going to be about 18 degrees, 17, 16 degrees. Hawkeyes, Gophers. The score is going to be, the over-under is about, what, 33, I believe? Mo and Vision. Gophers are top 10 in the Big Ten. Oh, these guys, I tell you what, you guys are coming in hot and heavy today. Hot and heavy tonight. We started with a lot of steam talking about the University of California Board of Regents decision this Thursday. But now you guys are coming in with some other steam, with some other... Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about the Hawkeyes and the Gophers. Eisman 57. Jonathan Weaver. If the Gophers can just not allow a scoop score, a pick six, a special teams touchdown, Gophers have a good shot at winning this game. They really do. Honestly, they do. Gophers have a good defense, a real good defense. They're rated 8th in the country. Last year, they were rated 3rd in the country. We don't have a passing offense, and the Hawkeyes are going to take incredible advantage of that. Oh boy, here we go. Opie's coming in with just a gigantic. He comes through. Opie Didon, thank you for your contribution to this channel. We appreciate your generosity so much. You're helping us keep the lights on. We're an independent channel. We're not liked by anybody. Thank you, Opie, so very much. We're not sponsored by anybody. Opie contributes $10. He says, get out the suds. 2 fight songs. So, I'm going to be singing Utah Man. If Utah defeats Oregon, I will be singing I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to be singing the Iowa Hawkeyes fight song. If the Iowa Hawkeyes beat the Gophers. Both of those fight songs, I will be singing them on the next live show. And the next live show will either be Sunday night or after the game, after the Saturday game. We're going to be doing a live show Thursday. We're definitely going to be doing a live show Thursday. So come back to this channel because that is when that decision on UCLA is made. We're going to be doing a live show and that decision comes out. So just keep aware of that. But after these Saturday games, the next live show will be Sunday or Monday. I will give you all a heads up. But Opie, thank you so much for donating. Appreciate it. Utah Man, Iowa fight song. I'm getting ready right now. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. I got all my scales working for me. Let's go. Let's go. Jonathan Weaver, a Hawkeye who's invaded into the peek around the corner. Iowa 16-5 overall record versus Minnesota since 2000. But I don't mind Minnesota. I think we can both agree Nebraska sucks. There we go. Nebraska sucks. Yeah. Absolutely. Jonathan Weaver, you're very smart. For a Hawkeye fan, you are very smart. Yeah, Iowa's been dominating Minnesota, and they've got the Gophers figured out. They know Tanner Morgan can't avoid a one-man rush. Iowa knows that Gophers don't throw screen passes. They don't have these hot routes. So what they do is Iowa crashes down the defensive ends, and they just come after the Gophers. Because we have no quick outlets to our running backs. We don't throw to our running back. Iowa Hawkeyes have Kirk Shiraka's offensive playbook absolutely mesmer. They've got it all figured out. Okay? So so that's some of the reasons why I want the Gophers to play Clackamanus. Because Athan Clackamanus, he can run the ball. So that RPO, that run play option pass, where the defensive ends can't actually crash down because Athan can take it out to the outside. That's what he did against Nebraska. But then again, Athan Clackamanus is an interception waiting to happen. And the Hawkeyes pick everything off. They don't drop balls. The secondary have better hands than our Gophers receivers. Now I'm getting talked into Iowa's going to blow out the Gophers. So let's just stop talking about that game because I'm getting more and more scared. Again, we're going to be doing a live show, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. We're going to start at 2:30. I'm sorry. We're going to start the Iowa-Minnesota watch party at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. We got to give a 30-minute run-up to that game because it's a massive, massive game. Here comes Will Duke. Thank you so much for the $20 donation. I appreciate you so very much. You're helping us keep the lights on the station. Will Duke, we had a $10 donation from Opie, which was so generous of him. So generous of you, Will Duke. Please consider singing the Utah Man fight song if Utah beats Oregon on Saturday. Warm-up lyrics. Who am I, sir? Utah Man, am I? Okay. I will. I'm going to get it going. I will practice that song. I will hear it. My wife, look, here's my wife. She's thanking you so much, Will Duke. And Opie, she also thanked you very much as well. However, this is kind of a crushing blow to my wife because she has to hear me practice sing these songs. So this is kind of tough on her as well, especially on her, because now she's going to have to hear me practice singing these songs. You guys only have to listen to me one time, and you can put me on mute. So, thank you again, Will Duke. Utah beating Oregon, I will sing the song. Iowa beating Minnesota, I will sing the Iowa fight song. Will Duke says, thank you, OB. Yes, thank you so much, OB D-Don. Appreciate all your generosity. Please smash that like button. It's a free way to donate to the channel. It helps us so much. It gives us more exposure. You guys know all that from watching YouTube channels. I think we got the top 25 finally being revealed. It's going to happen in 2 minutes and 52 seconds from now. They got the countdown clock. Thank you all for sticking with us so long tonight. We were supposed to have this unveiling of the new playoffs rankings 1 hour ago, but that basketball game went in a couple overtimes. Utah number 10, Clemson number 9. Those are my guesses. Alabama 8, Utah 7, LSU 6, Tennessee 5, TCU 4, Michigan 3, Ohio State 2, Georgia Bulldogs 1. Those are my guesses. We'll see what happens. Tony, game on Big Fox. Hope the Wisconsin game is as well. Good for exposure. Yes, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Central Time on Fox. Hawkeyes, Gophers. Tony, I've got a feeling that Wisconsin game, Gopher, Wisconsin, if the Gophers beat Iowa, I think Wisconsin and Minnesota will be played on ABC the following Saturday. And that will be the very last Big Ten game to be played on ABC for many years going forward. Because no Big Ten content will be on ABC or any other Disney channel starting next year in 2023. I got a feeling that the most played rival in all of college football, on any level of college football, Division III, Division II, Division I, the Badgers, the Gophers, no two teams have played each other more often. I think that will be the last Big Ten game played on ABC. That's as long as the Gophers beat the Hawkeyes this Saturday and make that Wisconsin Gopher game meaningful for next weekend. Here we go, 30-second, clock down's on, 30, 28, 27, the unveiling of the new college football rankings. I want to read your reaction. to these rankings. I want to see them. We'll see if there's any real controversy. There maybe is, maybe not. I'm guessing there won't be, but I was wrong. I was wrong in the first 2 weeks, so I'm probably wrong here in week 3. We shall see. Let's go. Let's do this. $25-1. I don't think there's going to be any Big Ten West in the top 25. I think we're getting shut out in the Big Ten West. We'll see how far UCLA dropped. We're going to see how far Oregon dropped. I'm very interested in North Carolina. Oh, Tony just asked, where do you have North Carolina? I've got them 11. Now, AP poll has them 13. I've got them 11. I'd like to see them number 11 here on the rankings. I mean, their quarterback, Drake Mays. I mean, that guy. Drake May, the starting quarterback of North Carolina, he's going to be the number 1 quarterback drafted in the 2024 spring NFL draft. That's my prediction. That guy is a phenom. That guy is a phenom. He's the reason why North Carolina's only lost 1 game. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, they're talking. Again, put down your comments down. What's your reaction? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? I'm really hoping for TCU to beat Baylor at Baylor this Saturday. Baylor hasn't been good. I don't know what's going on there. Here we go. Cincinnati 25. North Carolina State 24. Oregon State 23. Oklahoma State 22. Tulane 21. Tulane is still ahead of Cincinnati. Very important to note. They're not ahead of UCF. Tulane needs UCF to lose here soon, so Tulane can get out ahead of them again. But Tulane is still ahead of Cincinnati. Remember that top G5 spot gets a New York 6 bowl game. Right now, UCF is in the catbird seat. They're ahead of everybody else in the G5. But Tulane still remains close as they lost to UCF last Saturday. Mooney Vision, NC State, after that loss, very good point. Very good point. UCF 20. Ooh, they're only 1 spot ahead of Tulane. Wow. Florida State 19. Notre Dame has moved up all the way to 18. Washington 17. UCLA dropped all the way 4 spots to 16. Notre Dame keeps moving on up, and they play USC the last game of the season 2 weeks from now. Notre Dame, USC. That helps USC's resume if they can just beat UCLA this week, play Notre Dame next week, have a Notre Dame in the top 20. That's going to help UCLA out. Number 15, Kansas State. 14, Ole Miss drops 3 spots. North Carolina 13, Oregon 12, Penn State 11. They follow the AP poll. That's exactly what the AP poll has it. North Carolina 13, Oregon 12, Penn State 11. I would have had North Carolina 11. I would have Penn State 13. Monovision, Penn State at 11. Nice. It's nice. I disagree with it, but it's nice. It's nice for Penn State and the Big Ten. It helps out Michigan and Ohio State's resume. North Carolina will have a chance to move in the top 10 if they beat Clemson in the ACC championship game. That game is already scheduled. They've already both won. They both won their divisions already. Clemson versus North Carolina in the ACC championship game. I didn't see this comment. Eisman says, I'm not a huge fan of Greg Singen's voice, but my dog Abe absolutely loves him. Eisman, you should get your hearing checked because it's absolutely beautiful singing. Utah, number 10. Utah, number 10. That matches the AP poll. I suspect Clemson will be at number 9 here. Number 9 is Clemson. I would suspect Alabama will be number 8. We shall see. I can't believe they'd be ahead of USC. Alabama should be number 8. Again, Clemson, North Carolina in the ACC championship game. The winner of that will probably play in the Orange Bowl. Number 8, Alabama Crimson Tide, 8-2. So far, it's gone just how we thought it would. Number 7 should be USC. This is the one spot where LSU USC is going to be 6 or 7. Which way is it going to go? And that's where they've stopped. They're going to be talking about it. So yeah, who do you think is going to be number 7? It's going to be LSU or USC. I think they're going to have USC number 7. No surprises. No surprises at all. The only real part I disagree with, if I was part of the rankings, is I would have University of North Carolina at the number 11 spot, and I would have Penn State number 13. I would have those two teams do-si-do around number 12, Oregon. Other than that, I think it looks good as far as I'm concerned. Mo Envision. LSU should be, but USC will be. That's a tough call. I kind of tend to agree with you, Mo Envision. But USC's defense is so... They don't pass the eye test. Here we go. Number 7. That's going to be USC. Oh, wait. They're going the other way. Georgia's number 1. Ohio State Buckeyes, number 2. Number 3, Michigan Wolverines. And number 4 should be TCU. And number 4 is the TCU Horned Frogs. Okay, exactly how I had it. Now I've got Tennessee 5, LSU 6, USC 7. Tennessee, LSU, USC. Tony's saying USC should be 6. I've got them 7. We'll see what happens. Tennessee Volunteers, Rocky Top, Tennessee, number 5. And they're not going to, it doesn't look like they're going to get to the SEC championship game. So, very interesting candidacy from Tennessee. Got blown out by Georgia, defeated Alabama by 3 points at home. They're not going to get a conference championship, however. So they're going to have to try to squeeze in there as a one-loss non-conference champion. This is what we said at the start of the show. That 6 and 7 spot, that was the one that could go either way. And here we sit. I've got LSU number 6. LSU is number 6 at 8-2. That means USC is number 7. This went exactly how I had it, and probably most people had it. The only difference I had was UNC. I thought they should be number 11, North Carolina. There we are. There it is. TCU Horned Frogs. You just got to go out and beat Baylor this week, win the next game, and win that conference championship game against a Kansas State, probably a Kansas State Wildcat team. It's probably going to be TCU and Kansas State. Kansas State going with Will Howard, the backup quarterback. Adrian Martinez sounds like he's out for the rest of the year. Michigan, Ohio State, the game going to be played a week from this Saturday. J.J. McCarthy versus C.J. Stroud. Corum versus whoever's going to be the running back for Ohio State. They've got injuries with Williams and Henderson. That's going to be a great game. But whoever loses that Buckeye-Wolverines game, can they still squeeze in to the college football playoffs? I think largely it will be determined how competitive that game is. If that's a high-class, great game, epic game, decided by field goal with seconds to go, the loser of that game could probably still make the college football playoffs. Can North Carolina make the college football playoffs if they beat Clemson, if TCU loses? Their big loss this year was to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, 7-3, but they've beaten both ACC division champions. Notre Dame beat Clemson. Notre Dame beat North Carolina. Notre Dame is the ACC champion without even being in the conference, basically. Jesse says, good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Jesse. Appreciate you from Alabama. Washington Husky, please join us again on our next live show. Appreciate you, Jesse. Thank you so very much. Tony, great show. Greg, best wishes to you all. Thank you, Tough Tony. Appreciate you coming in the house once again with all your great questions. Again, thank you to Will Doot, the Eisman 57, to Opie for all your contributions to our show. Thank you for donating to the show. Thank you all for smashing that like button. Please share the video with your family and friends. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to our channel. This will do it for us here at Peek Around the Corner. We're going to be doing a probable, most definitely, live show sometime on Thursday. We can't tell you when, because that live show on Thursday is going to pop right when we find out that decision. What will the University of California Board of Regents do with UCLA? That decision is supposed to happen November 17th, this Thursday in San Francisco. So buckle up. When that decision comes down on high and it gets reported on, we're going to be covering it here at Peek Around the Corner. So join us for the Thursday live show. Saturday, we have a watch party. Gophers, Hawkeyes. And then Sunday live show, probable Sunday or Monday night. And I might have to sing 2 fight songs. The Utah Man and the Iowa fight song. Woo! We got a big week ahead of us. So, until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner, to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.